Okay, today we are going to learn about number system. Okay, generally we are all used to decimal number system. Okay, what is decimal number? Decimal stands for 10. Okay, is it easy for the human mind to understand these things? Because we have 10 fingers. So this has been a system which has been in place for since time immemorial, right? So there are 10 digits in the decimal system, which starts from 0 up to 9. Okay, so there are 10 unique values in a decimal system. Okay, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There are so 10 unique values available here in this system. Okay, now when I say a number like this, okay, this stands for 10 to the power of 0, which is known as the units place. This stands for 10 to the power of 1, which stands for ones place, and this is 10 to the power of 2, which is hundreds place. Okay, similarly after the this is known as the decimal point. Okay, after which this stands for 10 to the power of minus 1. This is the weightage is 10 to the power of minus 2. So this is how the decimal number system looks like. So the weight of this is 1, 10 to the power of this is 10 to the power of 0, which is 1, 10 to the power of 1, which is 10, this is 10 to the power of 2, which is 100, this is 10 to the power of minus 1, so 0.1, this is 10 to the power of minus 2, so this becomes 0.01. So when I write 512.74, it means 500 into 100, 10, this is 1, so 1 into 10, and this is 2 into 1. Right, so that's why I get 512. Similarly, this is 7, so this is 7 into 0.1 plus this is 0.01, 4 into 0.01. So if I add, this is 5 into 100, now 1 into 10, 1 into 2, 7 into 0.1 and 4 into 0.01. So if you add this, you get 512. So this is how a binary system looks like. So if you understand this, the other number systems, they are all very similar, only that this is instead of 1, 10, 100, it will change to 1, 2, 4 or 1, 8, 16 for an octal system, so on and so forth, which we will see shortly. Okay, so similarly you can have base 8 digits. Okay, in base 8 digits, 512.74 actually will indicate, okay, this is 2, 8 to the power of 0 is again 1. Okay, so this is 2, this is actually 1 into 8 to the power of 1. Okay, 1 into 8 to the power of 1, 5 into 8 to the power of 2. Similarly, this is 7 into 8 to the power of minus 1, 4 into 8 to the power of minus 2. So if I expand this, 8 square is 64, right? 64 into 5 will be 320. 8 to the power of 1 is 8, so that is 8. This 2 into 1, 8 to the power of 0 is 1, so 2. So this is 7 divided by 8, so 0.875. This is 4 divided by 8 square, so 4 divided by 16, 0.08. So this is the decimal equivalent. So 512.74 in octal system represents 330.9375 in decimal system. So this is known as octal number system. Similarly, you can have binary system. Okay, binary system, the first is 1, then the next is 2 to the power of 1. This is 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. Similarly, this is 2 to the power of minus 1, 2 to the power of minus 2. So 101.01, if I write something like this in binary, what it actually means is this is 0, so 1 into 2 to the power of 0, this is 0, 0 into 2 to the power of 1. So since it is 0, 0 into 2 will give 0. This is 2 to the power of 2, so this 1 actually indicates 4. So 4 plus this 1, so 5. Similarly, this 0 is 2 to the power of minus 1, so this becomes 0. This 1 is 1 by 4, because 1 divided by 2 square here. So 1 into 2 to the power of minus 1, so it is 0.25. So 101.01 is in binary is in decimal 5.25. So 5.25 in binary will be written as 101.01. Okay, as this is known as a binary system. So Generally we also use these two terms. If there is a 4-bit binary number, it is also called as nibble, and if it's an 8-bit binary number, it is also, this 8 together is known as a byte. So you just be aware of these two nomenclatures when we are handling other classes. So similarly, you can have hexadecimal numbers. Hexadecimal numbers will have, so in a binary system there can be two different numbers, right, 0 and 1, whereas if I go back, in an octal number there are total number of 8 unique numbers, okay, starting from 0 to 7. Okay, so there are 8, so these values can maximum go up to 7 in an octal number. Okay, if I write 812, it is an invalid number. Okay, it can come maximum up to 711. So the 77777, that will be the biggest number here in an octal number. Okay, it can't go up to 8. Similarly, in a binary number, all ones will give you the highest number which is possible. Similarly, coming to hexadecimal numbers, we can have 16 unique numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and then A actually stands for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So A to F also. So these numbers are also, why are we studying this? So once we start learning about microprocessors and codes and all, so every time to write a number, right, and suppose I have to write a number, it is easy to write AA rather than writing 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, and so it will become A represents a 4-bit number. Similarly, if I have to write in binary, that number will become such huge numbers. So when you are writing codes and all, to write it in hexadecimal, although the actual machine will do everything in binary only, okay, but when we are writing codes and all for human beings, you will find that it is much easier to write codes in hexadecimal numbers than in pure binary. Binary will look very confusing. Okay, so it is much easier. So when we learn about microprocessor programming and all, you will see that hexadecimal numbers are used. Okay, so because for human beings it is a much better system, okay, than using an pure binary number. So this is used widely. Okay, now the weightage, like hexadecimal number, this stands for 1, this weightage is 16, this weightage is 16 square, which is 256. Okay, so if I have to write it in binary form, so the first number for its weightage is 1, so I write 5 into 16 to the power of 0, which is 1. The second is E. Okay, now E itself means 14. Okay, and the weightage is 16, so I have to write 14 into 16. So this E out here represents actually 224. Okay, E itself is 14, right, because you can have from 0 to 15 value, and then it is not in the units place, it's in the next more significant bit position, and this significant position has a weightage of 16, so it becomes 14 into 6 to the power of 1. Then you have 1 out here, so this becomes 1 into 16 square, because this is 1 16 16 square, 256. So if you see, if you add up these, you will get 485. Similarly, in the decimal, the first one is 7, so I write 7 divided by 16 for this, and the second one is A stands for 10, and it is in the second right position from the decimal, so I write 10 divided by 16 square, okay, or 10 into 6 to the power of -2, so I get this value. So this is how I find the equivalent decimal number. So this is known as hexadecimal number system. This is hexadecimal. Now similarly, as a general rule, I can have anything base R. Okay, so when I write base R, so it will be first A0, okay, before the decimal. A0 will be R to the power of 0, then R to the power of 1. Similarly, it will keep going up to R to the power of n, and whereas after the decimal it will be A minus 1, R to the power of -1, and last one will be R to the power of minus m. So this is just an generalized. So now let's just take some examples and try to understand how 123.48 octal number. Now if you have to write it in decimal, what we are going to do is this 3 a to the power of 0 plus 2 a to the power of 1, and this one a to the power of 8 square. Okay, similarly 0.4, so plus 4 into a to the power of minus 1, so you get this value. Similarly, I have B2 0.4 hexadecimal number. If I have to convert it into a decimal number, so it is 2, so 2 into 10 to the 16 to the power of 0. Then B is what? 11, right? A is 10 and B is 11, so 11 into 16 to the power of 1, and then I have 0.4, so 4 into 16 to the power of minus 1, that is 4 divided by 16, so I get 178.25. Similarly, if I take this binary number, if I have to convert it into an decimal number, so first one is 1, so 2 to the power of 0, second is 0, 0 into 2 to the power of 1, third one is again 1, 1 into 2 to the power of 2, 0, 0 into 2 to the power of 3, then 1 into 2 to the power of 4, and last one is 2 to the power of 5, which is 32. So if you add up all these things, you get 53. So 85.3, 178.25 and 53 are all the decimal equivalents of these numbers. Okay, so this is how you convert this number. So now decimal to binary conversion. How if you have a decimal number, how to convert it into binary number. Suppose I have a 49, okay, binary number. How to convert it into decimal? Okay, what we are going to do is we are going to divide it by 2. Okay, so if I divide it by 2, so I have 24, right? 24, and then I will have the remainder as 1. So I put the remainder here 1. Now 24. Again I divide it by 2. So it is 12. Okay, what is the remainder now? 2 into 12 is 24. So the remainder is 0. Again I divide it by 2. I get 6 and the remainder is 0. Again I divide it by 2. So now I have 3, remainder is 0. Again I divide, so the remainder goes as 0. Again I divided by 2. I have a 1 out here. Okay, and then the remainder is 1 here, right? And then again I divided by 2. I will do it until I get a 0 here. So I put a 0 here, I get a 1 here, right? So now if I see, I have I kept on dividing it by 2 and I started putting reminders here until I get an 0 out here. Now to write an binary equivalent, I will start from this one and go there. This is going to be the MSB and this is going to be the LSB. Okay, so 1 1 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, so this is how, if you have a decimal number, you can convert it into digital. Is it okay? Ritika, is it understood? Kishan? Anybody? Yeah, okay. So this is how we convert decimal into binary. If you have any doubts, please feel free to stop me and get your doubts clarified. Okay. Now we'll take one more example. If I have to convert 50 into into binary number, so we divide by 2, so 25. So you get a remainder 0. Again you divide by 2, 12. So you will get a remainder 1 because 12 to is 24. So again you divide it 6. So 6 goes well with it. So 6 2 6 are 12. So remainder is 0. You divide it by 3. Remainder will be 0. You divide it by 2, 1 1 2. So there will be a remainder available. Then again you divide it once more, right? So okay, so this 0 has to come here. I think I missed out with the animation. So so there will be one more 1 out here. Okay, so it will be 0 here and then you will get a 1 here. So 1 1 starting from bottom to top, 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0. So this is how you do an conversion from decimal to binary, right? So similarly, if I have to convert a decimal fraction into binary, in this case, instead of dividing, we are going to multiply it with by 2, and then if there is an integer value available, I am going to write here. Now if I am multiplying it by 2, it is still a 0 point something, right? So I am putting 0 here. Again I am going to multiply it with again 2, again it is 0.5. So this is 0 out here, right? So I am putting a 0 here. Again I am going to multiply it again with 2. So I am getting 1 here. So I am going to put 1 here. So I will keep doing that till I get 1 out here. Okay, I get a perfect one. Till I get a perfect one here, I'll keep multiplying it here like this. So I get 1 0 0. So now if you see, now in this case, I am going to, this is going to be the MSB and this is going to be the LSB. Whereas where we were dividing it, we started from the bottom to top. Here we have to write from 1 0 0. So 0.001, because this is 0 divided by 2. This is 0. You have multiplied it 2. So this is 0 divided by 2 to the power of 2. This is, you have multiplied it by 3. So that is why it is 1 divided by 2 to the power of 3. So you will write 0 0 1 here, 0 0 0 1 here. So this is how we convert from decimal to binary. Okay. So if you have a number 100 point, say 125, you have to convert 100 separately, okay, by dividing it, and then you have to take the fraction and do separately, and then you write the answer together. Okay, so you don't take the fraction and the whole number together and apply this formulas or logics. Okay, you have to do it separately, and then you have to mix up the answers finally. So let's take one more example. It is 0.49. okay, so I multiplied by 2, I get 0.98, so I write 0 here, right? So again I multiplied with 2, I get 1.96. okay, so I write an now I have got 1 out here, right? So I am putting that 1 here, right? And then after that I neglect, since I am putting that 1 out here, and I am going to neglect this 1 here. Okay, so I am going to multiply only 0.96 with 2 here, because 1 I have put it here. I have taken this 1 here, so remaining is 0.96. so now I am multiplying it with 96, okay, with 2, so I get 1.92. so again I take that 1 there, and then remaining is 92, so I am putting 92 here, again multiplying it with 2 here, so I get 1.84. right? So if I keep doing this, it will keep going like this. Okay, so now I can write it as 0. Now I start from here, 0.01111. it will keep going like this. This happens even in decimal, right? We know that. So this will keep going like this. So depending on what you can limit it to the number of digits. Okay, how many digits you want, and you can limit it to that. Okay, depending on wherever or depending on the accuracy you require, you can leave it at that. Okay, now say the same reverse process also. If you have to convert a binary number into a decimal number, so this 0 into 2 to the power of 0, 1 into 2 to the power of 1, 1 into 2 to the power of 2, again you have a 0, 2 to the power of 3, 1 into 2 to the power of 4, and 1 into 2 to the, so this is the reverse process. Okay, exactly. So you get now converting from a binary to octal conversion. Okay, so here what we need to do is, if you have a binary number, you need to convert it into octal number. Okay, so it is not that you will convert this binary into decimal number and again from decimal to octal number. Instead of that, what we can do is, we can take the first 3 numbers, okay, 101 from here, and split this into a group of 3, because 3 binary numbers, okay, is equivalent to 1 octal number, right? 2 to the power of 3 is 8, right? So 0, so that is why we group it into 333. Okay, and then we can convert this into you can write it in the form of, because this 3 will represent 0 to 7, which is an octal number. So we split it into 3333, and then straight away group these 3 numbers into a single octal number. So this is the binary number, and this is the equivalent octal number. Okay, because 2 to the power of 3 is 8, so 3 bits can be clubbed into a single octal number. So this is how we do that. Okay, now here only thing which we need to remember is, here in this case you had 3333, 1 2 3 4 5, 15 digit number. So you started clubbing from here to, suppose it is only 14 bit number. Okay, never club it from the MSB side. Okay, then you will get an erroneous answer. You should, so when you are clubbing from the LSB side 3 numbers, in the final end you might have only 2 bits, so that doesn't matter. But if you are going to club it from the MSB side 3 numbers, you will get an erroneous answer. Always you have to be careful that you are clubbing 3 numbers from the LSB side. Okay, So I'll give you one more example. See, octal to binary. Okay, similarly, to make it an octal to binary, this 3 number, okay, each of these number can be represented into 3-bit binary number. So 3 is 011, 7 is 111 in binary, this 3 is 0111 in binary, and 6 is 101 in binary, right? So you can, yeah, you can do this. So instead of converting into decimal, again converting it back into decimal, directly from octal to binary conversion can be done by taking each of these bits and directly writing the binary equivalent. So this will become the binary number. For 6373 in octal is equivalent to this whole thing together in binary number. Okay. So this is equivalent to this binary number. So you can do these kind of conversions directly. Similarly, binary to hexadecimal. So this is an binary number. If you have to convert into hexadecimal. Now hexadecimal is what? 0 to F. Okay, there are 15. There are total 0 to F is total 16 different unique numbers. That is 2 to the power of 4. That means that 4 bits. Now you can combine it into combine it into a single hexadecimal number, right? So now if I take this number 4 bits, I group it into 4 bits. Okay, so these 4 bits can be written as 5. These 4 bits, if you see, what is this? 8, right? This is 1, 2, 4. Okay, 4 plus 1, 5. So this also 5. And what is this? 0 or 0. 4 plus 8 is 12, right? So this comes at 12 is what? And A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, right? So this comes as C. And what about this? This is just 1. So 1C55 is the hexadecimal equivalent of this binary number. Okay, so this is how we convert an hexadecimal binary number into hexadecimal number, right? Okay. So this, there are some similarly in binary numbers, we will do additions and subtractions and all. So it is very similar to what we do it in decimal numbers. So if I add 0 0, I have written a third 0 on top of this. This is a carry which is coming from the previous additions, right? So just 1 second. Yeah. So if you add 0 0 in binary, it will be 0. 0 1, you get an 1, and you get an carry 1. Okay, so whenever we are doing binary additions, okay, we will when we add 2 bits, and you will generate sum and carry, because in hardware you have to know whether there is a carry or not. So when you add 0 and 1, the output will be 2 bits. Okay, whether there is a carry or not, that also needs to be specified. Okay, because this is hardware, right? So in the hardware, if you this is the carry in, like if you are doing an addition in the previous stage, and if there is some carry which is coming from the previous stage, so 0 0 0 will give sum as 0 and carry as 0. 0 1 0, sum is 1, 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1 1. If you add 1 1, it is 2, right? In binary, 2 will be written as 1 0. That means the carry will be 1 and sum will be 0. Similarly, 1 0 0 will be 0 1. And 1 1 again 1 0, 1 0 is 1 0, 1 1 1. If you add 1 1 1, it is actually 3, right? So 1 1 is 3, right? 2 to the power of 1 and 1. So you get 1 1. So here you get carry 1 and sum as 1. So these are the rules for a binary addition. Okay. So we'll see these things in detail. So I'm just introducing you a little bit about what binary addition is, so that once we go in the next class, we'll see how to implement these things. Similarly, you are adding these two numbers 0 and 1, you have 1, and the carry will be 0. Okay, because 0 1 will not generate a carry, so I have put a 0 here. 0 1 1 is 0 here, and here in this case it will be, sum will be 0 and it will generate a carry, so I put a 1 there. 1 1 1 will give me 1 and it will generate a carry, and 1 0 0 is 1. So this is how we do binary addition. There are similarly binary subtraction. 1 minus 0 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, and 0 minus 1 is 1, because we are going to borrow from the previous stage 1. When we borrow 1, it will come as 2. So 2 minus 1 will give 1. So that is why this is 1. Very, very similar to what we do in the hexadecimal number, right? When we borrow in the hexadecimal number, we borrow, right? We borrow from the previous stage. So similarly, when we borrow from here, we will get an 2, and then 2 minus 1 will give you 1. So these are binary subtraction. Suppose I have to subtract 1 1 0 0, 1 0 1 0 from 1 1 0 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Again 0 minus 1. So we take 1 from here. So if I take 1 from here, this becomes 1 0. 1 0 minus 1 is 1, right? Because this is 2 and minus 1 1. So now here, since it is already given 1 here as a borrow, this becomes 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So this is known as a binary subtraction. Okay, similarly, you can have a binary multiplication. So you have 1 0 0, you multiply with 1 1. Very, very similar. So it is 1 1 0 0 you get, because 1 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 1, 1 into 1 is 1 here, and then again you multiply it with 1 1 1 0. So 0 1 1 and 1 you add, you get 0, and you take 1 carry forward here. That is why it's put it in round here. This 1 1 you add 0 1. So this is how a binary multiplication. So this number system is very, very similar to normal our decimal, which we all know. Similarly, you can do a binary division also. This is the number which requires to be, first we take 1. Okay, we can't, obviously 1 1 is greater than 1, so I put 0 here. So I put 0 here, so I subtract this, so I get back 1 here. So I take the next number here, then I put 1 more 0 here. Now it is 10. 10 is again smaller than this, so I put 1 more 0 here, so 0. Then I bring the next digit, it becomes 1 0 0, then 1 1. So then it is 1, because now 1 0 0 is greater than 1 1. So I put 1 here. So 1 1. I subtract this. I get 0 1 1. So again 0 1 1, they are equal. So I put another 1. I put 1 1. So I subtract. I get. So this is like same. We continue like this. Okay, till we get the last digit. So it is very, very similar to the only thing is we are only restricting ourselves to zeros and ones here. Okay, so with that we come to an end of this class. In the next class we'll continue with the 2's complement, and then we'll take on some binary codes. Okay, so that's all for today.